Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And what an episode. We are here to talk about episode 10, Baby with the Machine Gun. Woo!
Oh my goodness. But first, if you are new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be good because that episode was good and it's going to be good. But first, a little business to get out of the way. It's Black Friday this Friday. 25% off all the merch at Spread Shop. Go over there, get some gifts. You know. All right. Thanks. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Woo! Chantele, what an episode. All right, we're going to break it down top to bottom here. But we were both just saying we were surprised. We did not see this coming.
I mean, once the plan came out there into the open, I was like, it's going to be followed through. I think that they're going to take this moment because they feel like there's distrust. They have a number that they never thought that they would be able to have to do that, which was Ricard. And so as soon as that plan was enacted, I was like, oh my goodness, it's really going to happen. But at the beginning of the episode, this was not the way that I saw things going at all. At all.
No. Hayden, speaking of ratings, I feel like they're going to be very different this Monday. Some people are rising, some people are falling.
Wait, so did that person say that they think that Lana deserves more than the 3? Was that what
Erica.
it was? Erica. Yes, Erica. So I said it was Liana. I was like, what?
Chantele's like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to rate Liana yet. Rest in peace. Shit. Oh my God. I did not see this coming. Okay, let's start at the top of this episode. First, we see sort of the whole, coming back from the last tribal, we got to talk it out. They weren't even there for some of the tribals, so they're explaining what happened. But we see Erica and Deshawn have a little chat where Erica's like, we got to flush these idols. I want to get out Shan. Deshawn's doing his thing with like, sure, yeah. But then we hear from him that he likes his 4, this little 4. He's not sure that he's ready to get Shan out.
Well, absolutely. And I think that Erica has the right idea, but I think she doesn't necessarily realize how tight that 4 is. And I feel like she might want to have a little more tact with how she maybe approaches it, because yes, it does seem like Deshawn is like entertaining this, but he has stronger alliances with that group of 4. So I thought that for her to not really realize that he's not necessarily 100% in was maybe a flaw in her game this episode, but just a tiny flaw.
There's then going to be a conversation between Deshawn and Shan, and we get, the parallels to Big Brother this summer. We get this whole conversation that we saw this summer. Do it for the culture, do it for your individual game. It's so rare that you get this opportunity to have other people you could align with and support the culture. We even see Deshawn get emotional, and it seems like at this point they are sort of bonding again.
Absolutely. And I was getting emotional as usual in this moment, because I do understand what he was going through. This is exactly what Tiffany was going through in the summer. It's like, do I do this for the culture, or do I do this for my own game? If I do it for the culture, I don't know if I can win this. And so I could see him really being kind of torn into both ways. Like, I have debts, like I have all these things that I would be very useful to win this money, and I don't know if I could do it with you in this game, but you are supporting the culture. And so I totally see where he's coming between a rock and a hard place. Absolutely. He was emotional with all good reason, and I totally understand and respected why he felt that he needed to stick with the 4 at this point. It was the culture is bigger than just him alone.
Absolutely. And at that time, I tweeted out like, whoa, Shan and Tiffany, like same line here. How's this going to go for Shan? We'll see. Well, that did not age well. It did not last. We already know how that ended. Sheena123, thank you so much for the super chat. We are sad to not have David here, but we're so excited to have Chantele stepping in. So happy for that. All right. So at this point, they appreciate each other, but we're now going to play a reward challenge. And this reward, you get a night off. It's only pizza, but pizza's yummy. But it's a night off in some sort of, still outside. It wasn't like a hotel room.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent reward, I guess, especially for people that haven't eaten. But didn't we hear like that they always say that the pizza on Survivor is actually terrible and it's not good? So I'm always thinking that in my head. It doesn't look good.
The boxes don't even look good. It's like it might, I don't know, take too long to get to them, or they sit it out for a while. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't seem great. But whatever.
People always complain about it. So I'm always like, ew. I mean, I love pizza. I'll always eat pizza. So, I mean, even bad pizza is pretty good pizza. So I'm sure, especially if you're starving, they'd be like, blah, so good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're doing lots of things, unraveling ropes. They got to get to a puzzle there at the end. Ricard is going to land at the puzzle first. Xander had a bit of a lead, but he got all sorts of tangled up in the ropes. So that kind of goes out the window, although we do kind of see everybody on the puzzle together, but no one can beat Ricard. He's going to pull it off.
And he's good at these competitions, and I like the fact that he's, we learned last week that he's been reading lips, and of course, and that he's can't hear out of one ear, and so seeing him excel, I'm always really supporting. He's not like the typical comp beast that you're gonna be expecting to be winning all these things. We're thinking it's gonna be Danny that's gonna win, or Xander, and so the fact that he's doing so well physically, I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, I very much enjoy Ricard, and excited that he was able to pull this off. He's going to now have to pick a few people to join him on this night out reward. And at first, no shocker, he's going to pick his girl, Shan. She needs to eat, so it's valid for him to say, look, she hasn't had a reward. I'm picking Shan. That one makes sense. But then he gets another one. So he's like, you know what? Someone else who hasn't had a reward. That's Heather. She's like, who, me? What?
Me? She was so shocked. She just was not expecting, because I guess they don't really talk at all. And so she's just like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
She's like, oh, great. Thank you so much. Now he gets another one. So now who does he pick? And he gives a little spiel about someone who's been selfless, helped them get some rice, and that's going to be Xander.
I was surprised that Xander was the last pick here. I mean, his reasoning made sense, of course, but I don't know. I think it might have been better for him to choose Danny or Deshawn. I think that just to have that alliance broken up a little bit, so it's 3-2. I thought it might have been a little bit of a misstep leaving Danny and Deshawn out, but Danny was pretty gracious about it. He's like, you don't have to explain anything. Like, I know you're like, it doesn't matter, but I do think it might have been a misstep on Ricard's part.
Yeah, I don't know, because at this point, the boat, nothing has rocked, right? So Ricard thinks he's in an alliance with Danny, Deshawn, Shan, and Liana. So it seemed to me that he was picking. Obviously he's going to pick Shan, but like everyone but his alliance to sort of reel in the other people, which I get strategically, but it also does show your leftover alliance what you're doing.
That you're trying to get some numbers and some people to work with, and some jury votes potentially. So Danny clocked that right away. And that's why I think it was a bit of a misstep to be so obvious with kind of, just buttering up people that could be potentially sitting in the jury.
Yeah. And get some votes right now, get some numbers behind him. So back at camp, we're going to have this leftover group. Danny, Deshawn, Liana, and Erica who are back at camp. And Danny's going to go ahead and get this going. He's scared of Ricard. Ricard is dangerous in this game. He sees it. Let's take out Ricard.
I mean, it was the right assessment. I do
Mhm.
think that Ricard is the most dangerous for the fact that he's able to influence Shan,
Mhm.
and like keep her kind of like on the right path. And he does seem to be able to win these things. So definitely very dangerous of a competitor to just like get to the end by winning out at this point. So definitely right move to be thinking this way. Uh, but he did a poor job with execution here a little bit too.
Well, we can dissect this because yes, this is the right thing, obviously, especially if you're aligned with Shan. And you may know Shan's dangerous, but she's with you right now, so you're working with Shan. Take out any of her numbers that you are not really sure about. And even though they're kind of working with Ricard, he's just too good at the game. Totally get it. Deshaun is obviously on board, but then the next person they tell is Liana. And I think Chantele and I both aren't sure if you need to necessarily tell Liana at this point.
It's too early. I kind of am a proponent of if you're making one of these big moves, wait until after whatever happens at immunity because it always happens if you have a plan before immunity happens, your plan goes out the window and it's always the worst case scenario. So
Yeah.
just stop planning beforehand and just create the plan after the fact. You can even have it in your head,
Yeah.
but like maybe not start getting all those pieces together because then the plan gets out there and has an opportunity for things to shift and change around. And especially if your target wins immunity and then they hear about what was the potential plan before you even played for immunity, it's bad new move like all around. So I
Yeah.
think it was definitely premature.
Yeah. They just thought, hey, we're all in alliance. Let's talk about it. But, after we see how everything unfolds, we could sort of just back it up and be like, well, if y'all had zipped it, maybe this would not have happened. But we're not there yet, guys. So we're going to flip over to the reward Survivor Sanctuary, they called it. It was just a shack. They were still outside, it appeared.
Yeah,
This is
it didn't look that sanctuary-esque. I guess they didn't get a sponsor for this reward or something. Because
yeah,
did we even see the blankets that they slept in and the
no,
pillows? And, like, we
right.
just basically
I
saw
want to
them sitting on
see
a tree trunk.
cozy. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
were still huddled around outdoors, but they're eating. So it's Xander, Heather, Shannon, Ricard at this point, and we get an interesting moment here with Shannon Ricard. She's very appreciative. They are sort of talking about how they're BFFs, but they're not, they're kind of cagey when it comes to end game.
Yeah, I think they both recognize that they can't go to the end with each other and that they've kind of given them each other the green light to eventually have to take a shot at one another, but just not right now. And it's kind of where it was. It's like, oh, I don't want to talk about this right now because I know we're going to have to do it at one point, but I don't want to have to do it. So I thought it was a very human moment because we were all wondering, like, they're going to have to do it sometime. Like, who's going to win out? When is it going to happen? Like, we were wondering about Ricard and Shan, and then also Deshaun and Shan, like who's gonna win out there. So definitely was a lot of foreshadowing with like the fact that they're gonna have to eventually go head to head.
Yes, and we have been talking about this, but I just was still caught off guard. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for this. Shan, it sounded to me like Shan was saying, I can't bring you to, or I can't promise final two with you because men will beat women. And, that's historically the way that it goes. But with him being like, I don't know, this year could be different, made it seem like he was saying, let's make a final two. Like it sounded like maybe he was more on board than she was, but it was so edited, I'm not really sure. But again, this is why I'm like so caught off guard later because I was thinking like he's there. I'm with you, Shan. Like yeah, and she's like I don't know at this point.
Yeah, it did seem that she was hesitant on like doing the final two stamp of approval there with Ricard, which game wise, I mean, now that we know the outcome, especially, I do think that making him feel comfortable would have been maybe the better play.
Yeah.
right? Just be like, you know what? Like, you are my best friend here. We've been playing this game together. Let's ride this string through the end and see what happens. May the best one of the two of us win, because we both have a really good chance at getting votes. And then, regardless of whether she decides to take him out later or he does the same,
Yeah.
at least it would have made him feel safe. Because I do think that this might have
Right.
also been a moment that made him be like, okay, so she knows that I'm going to have to take her out sometimes, and yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
now's the time.
Right. Get her before she gets me. It sounds like she's
Mhm.
gonna get me at some point. Yeah, for sure. She could have lied. They both could have lied and just been like, yes, us two till the end, but they chose to be honest. And look what happens when you're honest in this game. Then we get this brilliant moment where Shan is singing her song out loud, and Heather's like, "What is this?"
What song are you singing?
Du-
Oh,
du-
just
du- 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 du. Oh, I was thinking.
so what do you think that, so whenever she has that song playing, it's always to do with her doing something sneaky or thinking of a sneaky move. So what do you think she was thinking about? What move was she planning on making?
Well, the fact that we have this Ricard edit and they're sitting next to each other, and then we hear her do the do's, I was like, oh, not Shan coming for Ricard. Oh my God. Because, we're already set up that Ricard might be the target at this point. And I'm thinking, great. As soon as she hears the Deshawn plan, she's going to be like, all right, Ricard's got to go. If I'm hearing that song.
It's time. Oh my gosh. It was just so, I was very much on edge this entire episode, because I was like, everybody's my favorite. I don't want anybody to go. Like, they're actually playing right now. There's no other stuff to interfere. Like, it's a normal episode of Survivor, and it had everything in it.
It did.
I was just like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? I'm like, I don't want Ricard to go. No. Yeah, I was nervous.
At this point, you're like, oh, I don't want anyone to go. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, okay.
Like, can we go back to Heather going? Like, that's what I was thinking.
Heather's the queen. She's winning. She's in the edit now. So Liana and Shan are going to connect when they get back to camp. So we're all back together. And this becomes pivotal in the episode. So starts with, are we still with this four? Like, and then we both see them say, it's you, right? It's our connection, Liana and Shan. We have the connection. The summit was so moving, it's so powerful. It's our connection. That's what drives us to tears here.
Well, I have a question, because one thing that when I was watching that particular part and Liana was bringing the information to Shan, she was saying that they were coming for her, and we didn't see that. So was that something that was left out of the actual episode, or was that a little bit of just a little bit of a falseness that Liana kind of said? Because she was like, yeah, they're coming for you. Like, well, no, they're coming for Ricard, but like they want you out. And I was just like, did one around at 4? Like, what was she meaning by that? Because we didn't see the conversation.
There was something in the conversation though that did lean towards that, and then the rest of it was probably edited out. But there was something from Deshawn or Danny of like, we got to be careful with Shan. Shan, is dangerous. We'll get her event. Like, there was something in that conversation. So when Liana phrased it that way, it made me think that was a bigger conversation of like, we're going to get Shan eventually, but for now, let's get Ricard.
Okay, I'll have to go back and take a little watch sees, because I don't remember that specifically, because I was kind of like, oh, is she lying right now to do something? I wasn't sure. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it was something, but I don't quite remember. But so at this point, Liana is going to, once they connect again, get emotional, she's going to be like, look, they're coming for you and they're voting out Ricard first. And Shan is very grateful in this moment. She's like, I knew those guys were going to do it. I was a little bit of that. So she says, we can't trust them. We got to vote out Deshawn. And Liana's like, absolutely, let's do it. We'll get the votes and we'll vote out Deshawn. And again, all of this before immunity.
Right? It's like, just hold up. It's a great idea, but everything changes after immunity. It's very different. The person that wins immunity has a little bit of agency. They might be able to offer some new information. The plan will most definitely change. So hold up. I felt that it was really a great moment because we saw Liana crying and just saying like it was something very special that happened on the top of that hill, and I really appreciate that. I respect that they wanted to be
Oh,
two
yeah.
Black women sitting at the final two. Totally
Yes.
get that and why
Yeah.
Liana felt compelled to be open with Shan. But I do think that she should have also maybe have withheld this a little bit, kind of, because they're both not great at keeping in information. It's just two loose lips. So
Yeah, it's hard because this thing between Shanna and Liana is outside of the game. It's bigger than the game. It's deeper than the game. And so you forget that all of this stuff is going to factor into the game. So now we see Shan go to Ricard. And now I'm shocked still that this information is just flying left and right. Now Shan is literally telling Ricard all of this information and full on, we'll vote out Deshaun. We'll do it. And he's like, can I process this for just like a minute?
yeah, and it seemed like Shan didn't understand why he would need a moment to process that.
Yeah.
I would, if someone told me that like the people that I've been working with are planning to get me out, I would need a moment.
Yes, please.
Because I'd be furious. My heart would be racing. Like I would be like, my mind would be racing as well. It's like, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? If I don't win immunity, what am I going to do? Like I would need some time.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I mean, I think that they like they do. They have a great relationship where they can sort of talk through things. And he's like, wow, I can't believe you told me. But here we are again before immunity. So let's actually go to immunity. Okay. Well, Ricard's got a little fuel in his tank, not just pizza, but also information. So we are balancing a ball while we're on a beam. It looks so simple, and I bet I would be out like that, right? I mean,
it's a pretty
you never know.
classic Survivor challenge. So it's funny that it's supposed to be a new game, reinvented, and they keep on bringing like previous games back into the fold, which is fine by me. But just like don't pretend like it's like reinventing the game. It hasn't been. But it definitely is challenging to be on those beam and be concentrating on your balance, and then also balancing a ball on a plate. I think I could balance on the beam very well. I don't know if I'd be able to balance that ball once it goes down lower, because it's just, if it's up top, yeah, I can do that for forever. But like down at the bottom, too hard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be winning.
I mean, it might be super easy, but like just one little sway of the ball. You know, Shan did some great saves, but we see Liana is out first, then Danny. They move down to the second little stage of it. Erica drops, then Heather. Then we're at the third stage. Shan is out. Then Deshaun. We are down to Ricard versus Xander for this. And we just know it's going to be Ricard.
Of course it is.
Per edit. I don't even see Xander in this episode. So
I was like, there's no point in it being Xander. Like, it's just like the only person that could win this is so that we can get the facial reactions of Deshaun being like, it just,
right.
It had to be him.
He's like, my plan is ruined. So Ricard is going to win here. So getting back to camp, Shan's like, great. I don't have to worry about Ricard, and I don't have to gun for Deshaun. So, hey, group, remember how much I want Erica out? Let's just put all our votes on Erica, but let's make Xander feel nervous. We don't tell him anything. He'll play his idol. Great. We get to flush his idol, and we get Erica out. Great. Group's like, sure, works.
See, and I wonder if it would have been better for Shan if she had proposed this plan, but not said that this is what we need to do. This is what we have to do. Just be like, what if? Because I think that what makes her the most dangerous is that she always pushes her own agenda. And a lot of the times in the big group, she gets her agenda met. And so I think that her deciding with this plan, and it's going to be something that's going to for sure benefit her, and it's going to look, she'll be able to say to the jury that this is what she got happen. She got Erica out. I think they're just like, nope, she's getting too dangerous. We can't let her have this plan. We need to take this opportunity. She's too good at rallying the troops to do what she wants.
Well, we cut from this to Ricard saying, I love Shan, but today is the day that Shan has to go. And I felt like a meme myself. My face, I was like I physically reacted to hearing Ricard say that.
I was like, no, I mean, I get it, but oh no.
I was like, well, either he's about to do a really big move or this is going to blow up in his face. There's no middle ground here. This is a huge statement to make. So he heads over to Xander and Heather, and hey, they're happy to talk to him. He just fed them. So they're like, yeah, you think we should go after Shan? Okay, love that idea. Let's do it. He also adds in important information of like, Xander, this is their plan, and they're hoping you to flush your idol. That's why they're going to not tell you anything. I mean, this is all, Ricard knows how to get what he wants. He gives the right information here. But Ricard needs a fourth vote.
That fourth
so
vote.
Who does he head to?
I was so worried that he was going to go to Liana. I mean, I know that it would just be inane, but like, people seem to go to her with plans. Right? I was like, don't tell her anything.
I was like, he knows he can't go to Liana, right? He knows that, right?
I was thinking the only person he could maybe go to would be Deshawn. That would be the maybe.
Well, he did it right. I mean, I was like, you can't go to Deshawn. You can't go to Danny. You can't go to Deshawn. Like, how is this going to work? But he did it. First off, I can't believe he was ballsy enough to do it, but he did it. He said, hey, Deshawn, here's the information Shan gave me. He threw Shan so far under that bus and was like, she's got to go. We got to get her out. I mean, I can't even imagine what was happening in Deshawn's head at this time.
It was so perfect for him to give them that information, because they're like, oh, wait, she told you our plan? Like, that means that she broke our trust first. And with that, they felt justified with making this move, because she was working more so with Ricard than with them, and was more concerned about Ricard than they were about them. And so it gave them the open door. It's like, there you go.
That was it. I mean, Deshawn is obviously lying to Ricard at this point of like, what? No. Oh my God. What? She's lying about me? What? Oh, but like you said, he and Danny are going to get together and be like, oh no, what she just did is too much. That is too much of a attack on us, or like against us. Now we're mad. They're straight up upset with Shan, and they're considering this vote. Again, I'm like, there's no way, right? Like, I understand they're kind of mad, but like, what? No way.
I was just thinking, like, for the culture, it's going to come back to the culture, and they're going to have that moral dilemma. Right. And I really thought that they were going to come back to, no, we have to stick together as a four. Really?
Yes. Well, then Erica's like, what? Is it getting wild up in here? Hold my beer. I don't want to be the backup vote. What if Shan does play her idol? Let me get all up in here and make this even more messy, because the vote needs to be split with Liana so that it doesn't fall back on me. I get where Erica's coming from, but I'm like, oh my God, this is just another layer to make things backfire and have casualties instead of like an actual target. I'm so worried at this point.
Me too. And I was thinking, I'm like, I mean, I can see them getting behind voting out Shan, but I don't think I can see them getting behind also putting votes on Liana. I was like, I can't see them doing both. They can't both. No. I was like, ooh, this is risky for that to be the vote split.
Yes. And then we actually see Danny be like, oh, who's Erica telling me how to vote? Like, Erica can't run this game. That's not allowed. I don't want this happening. And so again, I'm like, oh my God, this is all going to backfire. Are they going to vote out Erica now? Like, what is, I just, I don't even know who I'm worried for at this point. I'm just thinking, oh, this is just so much. There's so much happening.
I thought that it was just really that Erica was going to be the one that ends up going in the end, that Shan would have ended up getting her way, but that she's kind of walking a thin ice there with the potential Ricard plan kind of lingering in the background. I thought it would maybe happen next week. I was really thinking that it's just a little bit of a misdirect of seeing the
Yes.
gameplay of people, and that Erica would have ended up being the one taken out here.
Yeah, I have to agree. I was like, Danny and Deshawn aren't going to let this happen. We're probably going to end up seeing Shan play her idol because she got a little heads up from somebody. People are going to be mad that Erica tried to like pull some weight around and she's going to be the one to end up going. But y'all, that is not what happened. So this tribal, I don't know. They're talking about who to trust, who not to trust, who you're with now is not who maybe you're really with. I don't know. It's all like being cagey and trying to misdirect.
Definitely, and I still couldn't figure out what really was happening. Um,
Yo.
and obviously the editors wanted to make sure that like we're still a little bit confused, so we would be shocked. And they did a good job because
Yeah.
well, as soon as the votes came out and I saw the first few votes, I was like, okay, well, that's actually the plan did go
Yeah.
through. But up until then, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, exactly. Once you see the vote, I mean, the call for the idols, no idols are played, and I'm
I was
like,
like,
oh boy, okay, they might have actually stuck with this plan. And then you see an Erica vote, and you're like, well, we know that. Then you see Shan Liana, and you're like, oh my gosh, Erica's plan worked. Like she got them to split the vote. And she did because we go boom, 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 Shan Liana, blah, 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 until we are tied Shan Liana.
and then you see Shan turn to Deshawn and was like, D? And I was like, oh, it's so hurtful. It's kind of like, remember when Michaela turns around to Jay? He's like, was that you? And you're just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then, we just like get like the way that it unfolds from this moment is just proof of how iconic Shan is, how she dominated this season, and the way it's just like they gave her some props here because you hear Jeff and he's like, all right, we're gonna revote. You can only vote for Shan and Liana, and I'm still like, oh my God, it's going to be Shan or
She knows that
Liana.
she's done. She knows there's
Yes.
no way that they're going to vote out Liana over Shan. And
No, I mean, Shan is the target. That was the whole point of this. The music, you guys turned to like sweeping, beautiful, soft music. No, most people do not get voted out to this
the
soundtrack.
symphony.
Yes. This was like, you guys, your favorite is being voted out. Like the music. And then you just see all these Shan votes. Shan's like, Liana, don't trust anyone. She's like, no kidding. Where are we right now? Insane.
I love Tiffany giving props for that move, being like, wow, like what a good move. Like I was so, it's really nice to see the people that are in the jury respecting moves, and like they were gamers that just got taken out. Like I definitely enjoyed seeing that. And kind of going back to how Anesu went out in, oh, spoiler alert, in South Africa, but how she respected it so much because she respected the game, and going out in like a blind side like that, it's just like, because you're that good and they respect you so much, like you really had to be, it was hard to get this done. And I appreciate how she even still gave props to Ricard, being like, Ricard, I'm giving you my vote for $1 million. Deshawn, you're a snake. And she sadly left. And even Jeff was like, didn't even want to take out her torch.
Right. He's like, I don't want to do this either. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell by the music. Like, no one wanted this to happen. They just had to do it to save their games. And yeah, I love it. Like, Ricard is like, I love you. And she's like, I get it. But I do feel like, even though she was like, Ricard, you have my vote, is giving him props, but it is also putting a target on his back of
Yeah,
like,
she's trying to
guys,
set him up a little bit.
I'm going to jury and I'm voting for him. So do with that with what you will. Yeah, Deshaun, you're a snake, which was just a great little jab on your way out. But she handled it well. She stayed like, wow, I got outplayed, and she did. She just straight up got outplayed, and I can't believe it.
I can't believe it. I don't know how she could have been able to suss out that plan because
No.
Ricard was on board with it. Like that's the reason why it went down. And so, and I do feel like he's a better strategist than Shan is. And so it was such a sad moment because I know that she really wanted to be there. And when that music was playing, I was like, I feel like I'm watching like an Oscar-winning movie right now, and they're laying down like the favorite puppy to sleep, to rest. Like
it was like I can't like get tears to happen, but it was like almost there. It was like in my chest. I was like, I'm feeling things. I'm having feelings right now. This was really touching. I mean, yes, she's messy, and we talked about it, but you can talk about a messy player when they're really good, right?
Yes.
We barely talked about Heather
too, though, is with her. She was 6'6", 6'5", 5'4", 3'4", 3'4". You know what I mean? She was starting to go down. We were recognizing that her messiness wasn't doing well for her game, and we were like, ooh, people might be frustrated with working with her, which might allow them to want to take her out. But we were just always still like, but no, she's gonna still get to the end. Like she's still gonna be able to figure it out. Like we were always expecting her to be able to pull through. And so, but we did always recognize that her game was going down, which is also interesting.
Yeah. Oh, she was a pleasure to watch though, because I mean, good and a little messy is really, really fun. So I really appreciated it, but boy, did I also really appreciate Ricard being like, oh, did y'all want to see me play? Because here I am. I am ready to play. And then Erica was also like, me too.
I love that Ricard has at least the information not to trust Deshaun. Like I think that is just going to be useful for him to be able to have that information, so he's not going to necessarily get duped. It might be a battle and they might be going after each other, but at least he has the knowledge that he could try to do some strategizing and work his magic to be able to move forward. So I'm glad that Deshaun has that Ricard has some extra information so he can play optimally. And thank you, Eric, for showing up and getting something done. You're going to get a little bump up from me this week.
For sure. Erica's getting a bump up. The jury, like you mentioned, did say, well, they were surprised, but I believe it was Evie was like, Xander still has an idol. Like he's still in the game. His name was not really brought up today. And he's got an idol and he's got an extra vote, right? He still hasn't played his extra vote. Like Xander is slightly protected, even though he's not included in votes and does not know what's going on.
They're just hoping that eventually he'll just play it and like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But otherwise, Nasir did not play his idol, and Shan did not play her idol. So those two maybe come back into play.
Ooh, right. I wonder if they're going to do that. I mean, I'm still curious when they were doing the reward challenge. I'm like, is there going to be a clue for something somewhere? Like, I was surprised that they didn't rehide that bench reward clue.
I bet they have. It's coming back.
But there wasn't any on the reward challenge, like the reward actual when they're eating the pizza. I would thought that maybe like on the pizza box there's like a clue or something.
Well, at least we didn't have Jeff talking to us at this point, being like, in this pizza box, I put this clue.
It's true.
Will they find it? We don't know. But the preview for next week does talk about a twist. So don't worry, guys. Don't worry if you were worried. It's coming.
Guys, I don't want another twist. Like, look how fabulous this episode was with playing with the amazing cast of characters that we have here together.
Solid gameplay.
it was such a compelling, I got goosebumps, I cried, like, it was so good. It didn't need all that. It was like, they barely even talked about the idols, other than the fact that they're splitting the votes as a just in case. Like, that's it. And that's fine by me. I don't need a twist to mess up someone's game.
Yeah, but I do love how they play a certain way because of the advantages. I agree. I love that there was no extra fluff. It was just straight gameplay. But they did, it got extra messy because of the idol. Like it's so the advantages looming is fun, but I get it. I get it. It's been too much, and I'm like, oh god, Jeff.
So what is this? What is this twist? Do you think it is? What
I don't know.
Be?
I mean, at this point, it's going to be like whoever won immunity is going to be the one person who is voted out. Else? No, I don't know.
Oh my god, that's so much power.
Yeah, we just saw that on Survivor Australia, which I've been watching, and they gave 3 people immunity, and only those three people could vote. Then at Tribal, those 3 people had to make fire, and only the winner was the actual vote. So they didn't even get 3 votes. It was literally one person. I mean, it was fun, but that's crazy.
That is pretty crazy, but at least with something like that, they know all the information going in. And so they know that if they win, at least the 3 people will be, it's different, it's new, it's annoying if you're not one of those 3 people that won immunity, but at least they have all the information for the most part. And then, people's like social game comes into play, like who are you working well with?
Right. And honestly, even though you say, oh my God, it's so much power for one person, it's not really one person because that one person is working with an alliance, right? So they represent more than one person. They might have been on the minority though, and wouldn't have been able to do what they were going to do. But that's what's fun about a twist, right?
I don't mind that twist, to be honest. I'm not a twist fan, but that one doesn't bother me too much.
Interesting, because that's a pretty hardy. I know this.
If it was you drew a rock and you got the power, I would be irritated. But the fact that they got to work towards it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, totally. I hear you. I've only watched this one season that I just watched, which I don't even know. I don't know what season it was. It was the one that over the summer, Brains versus Brawn. But I will be watching all of the Survivor Australia from now on.
You will
and South Africa. Back. Oh my God.
Go back and watch Survivor Australia. It's like you're gonna find some characters. They cast so well. There's so many lovable heroes that like you're just like, oh my God, like our hero is going out now. Like it's so shocking and like fun, and everybody's there to play.
They're great at casting. They're great at the edit and giving us the characters. But they're also really good at challenges. Like their challenges kind of put us to, they're like, oh, you're just doing difficult. You're just doing that hard. One thing in your US challenge. Cause we did like that plus 2 other layers. So
I saw them, they made them once, I think it was for Australia, made them tread water for like 4 hours. It's like,
oh my God, I love it.
Brutal.
Do it.
And people lasted.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could tread water.
Because they're Aussies.
Actually, they live in near water, so it's more likely that they, are in the ocean often.
Robin, they are on Paramount Plus. The old, there's nothing currently airing, but so they're on Paramount Plus. But I am currently watching it on Twitch. So if you don't have Paramount Plus, go to my Twitch channel, and you can watch along with me over there. And absolutely the next one that's airing in February, which Sandra's going to be on.
Oh my gosh.
You guys, we are definitely watching that live. That is happening.
So fun. It's a blood versus water. And I'm like, yes. It's going to be, I just want to see Sandra play again. Yeah.
Absolutely. I will watch her play every single time. No problem with that. All right, you guys, what an episode. Crazy. We're shocked. We're sad, but we have to applaud that gameplay. That was incredible. So Chantele, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Of course. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh yeah. Well, so you're not gonna have American Thanksgiving tomorrow. What is
No.
is a normal week for you?
Normal week for me. So
Ooh,
nothing. I mean, maybe I'll
no.
go and peruse Black Friday sales on like
Yes.
Amazon or like or on Nerdtainment.
I mean, if you're so desire. You guys in the chat, thank you so much for joining us and talking about this crazy episode. I will be off tomorrow for
For
Thanksgiving.
mashed potatoes, it seems.
Oh my God, mashed potatoes and stuffing. Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat turkey, but mashed potatoes and stuffing are like my two favorite foods. And I dream about them. And on Thanksgiving, that's all I have to eat. Like, no one makes me eat anything else. I can just have piles and piles of carbs, and it's amazing. It's going to
I'm
be
definitely a
so, so
stuff. I,
good.
I love both of those. Like mashed potatoes and stuffing is delicious.
Oh,
Stuffing is
so
definitely my
good.
favorite.
Yes. And I don't even care what kind of stuffing it is. All the stuffing is good. I love it all. Yes. So if you are celebrating Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope that whether you're celebrating or not, you can find things that you are grateful for, and you can tell your loved ones around you how grateful you are for them, because that's always nice.
Oh,
Chantele, I'm grateful for
I'm
you.
grateful for you as well. Thank you for having me. Grateful for everybody
Yay.
here in the chat. They're always so
That's
welcoming.
right. Right?
Love
Such a
it.
fun group. Absolutely. All right, you guys. I will be back on Friday on Twitch only for Survivor Australia, wrapping up that season on Friday and Saturday. Otherwise, Chantele and I will be back on Monday
Yes.
with
Who
some
are
great
we with?
things.
Who are we with on Monday? Do we know yet?
We are with Jessica Milagros from
Oh,
Big
that's fun
Brother.
for this one for this week. What a great week to have her on. I'm so excited. That's great.
Yes, so excited to have her on Monday, you guys. So tune in for that. And also on Monday, why do I have a pen? I'm like a teacher all of a sudden. On Monday will be my Bachelorette recap with David. Chantele, I haven't watched it yet, so no spoilers. Oh no, your face. But
It's good.
Monday,
I
David
mean,
and
it's not
I.
good. It's terrible, but it's like
Oh no! Oh my God, I have to go watch it right now. Oh no. Okay, well, that'll be Monday, you guys. David and I will be back for that. So, okay. I have to prepare myself for that. All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
bye.